Hi, my name is Gabby Hart, and this is my good news. I've been attending gospel for almost a year now. It'll be a year in September after I went to a Good News Fest and decided to come the next Sunday. Being a part of this church has definitely brought me a lot more meaningful relationships. It's brought me closer to God than I've ever been before in my life. Even though I knew Him, I didn't really dive deep until I found God here, because gospel is a place where you can really encounter God. And so it's brought me a lot closer to Him, brought me a lot of meaningful relationships, and made me feel really loved by the people who I know and don't know here. My struggle started when I was about 14 or 15. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and at 19, I was diagnosed with PTSD. And around 16, I started to really struggle with self-harm, some really severe self-harm and suicidal thoughts and tendencies, unfortunately. I realized pretty quickly, once I got pregnant with my son, that God was really the only thing that was gonna free me from those thoughts, from those demons really that I was fighting. I'm sorry. I think that God's grace and His love is really the only thing that has kept me here till this day. He's really shown me every reason He needs me to be here. He's blessed me in so many ways since I really last struggled with those things. 2 weeks ago, I believe, I celebrated 3 years clean from self-harm. It's been a really big blessing, but I know that God's the only reason that I was able to get through those moments in my life. So since then, since the past 3 years, I came to the gospel, and immediately after encountering God, I got baptized, I want to say like 2 weeks or 3 weeks after being here, and I haven't looked back since. God's shown me that His plans are always bigger than whatever the enemy is trying to use to bring me down. And He's shown that through friendships, through the people here, through my son, all my relationships really. The plans He's brought to me, the blessings He's put in my life, I know that that would have never been possible if I would have chose to go down the route that I was headed. But His love, thankfully, was much, much stronger than anything that I was dealing with, and saved me, really. 3 years later, I still have really pretty bad scars. They're really, really noticeable, and they used to really upset me. And now, when I look down and I see my scars, I'm reminded of His love and how much worse His scars must have been to give His life for me to live, and for the people I love to live, and for anybody who accepts Him to live. And so now they just remind me that His love is much, much greater than anything I'm struggling with. I joined my first small group because Miss Cheryl Mace was the very first person I ever talked to from gospel. It was actually at the Good News Fest in Memorial Park, and she gave me a hug, and she prayed for me. She made me feel really loved, and she was the whole reason I decided to come to gospel, because I realized that it was a really loving environment just from that one encounter. And so she started a mental health small group, which was clearly something I really needed. I wanted a Christian approach to mental health and not the worldly advice that other people might give. And just knowing it was from someone who was so loving as her, I just decided to give it a try, and it's really helped me think positively, defeat bad thoughts that aren't from God, and realize how much stronger I can be with God than without Him. Something I would tell someone who's struggling and wants to thrive is to really just turn to Jesus, because there's no peace and there's no love like that can be found in Him. I think that if you're looking for answers, if you're looking for peace, if you're looking for anything really, if you turn to Jesus, all of that will be found. Your questions will be answered, your hurt will be healed, your heart will be filled. I don't think there's really anything God can't do that if you're looking for and you genuinely want and ask that He can't provide. He's really the answer to anything. So I think the first step before you try anything else is just find Him, look for Him, and search for Him in everything you do, and you'll get whatever you're looking for.